morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, early birds. Good morning, early risers. What's going on? All right, let's get this party started. Gonna go ahead and post tweets that we are live and get everybody in here. Perfect. All right, it's 8:30. Let's see what that jobs report number says. Pusher, baby, let's go. All right, so let's go to jobs report. Oh, why am I? Sorry, guys, my friggin' app is being funky today. Just trying to see the jobs report numbers. That's about it. All right. Jobless claims came in at 1,403. And the forecast was 1,475. So a little bit of a beat there. A little bit of a positive. So let's get to it. Eric Evans, what's going on, my man? Good morning. Marjan, good morning. Esma, good morning. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you. Vergil, hello there. Skyzen, good morning, lovely people. What's going on? Legit Movers Chicago, good morning. Nino, Brody, check out NVIDIA on the monthly and let me know what you think. We'll wait for the end of the stream and then we'll check out some tickers. But if I remember, I'll try to check out NVIDIA right after we go through everything there. Nino, my man. Raul, good morning from Torrance, CA. Nice. Michael, should we do puts on UNP? How about a good morning? That'd be cool. All right. So we're gonna wait till 8:35, and then we'll let everybody kind of tune in here. Once everybody is tuned in, we'll get kicked off here. We'll go over some analysis on the SPY, the Qs. We'll go over the free alerts, and once we're done with all that, we'll dive into the chat here and go over some of the questions that you guys may have in regards to some of the tickers that you guys are looking to trade today. And remember, at the end, if you guys want to ask me a question regarding some of the tickers, please remember, let me know if you want to trade calls or puts, day trade, swing trade. That way I can understand better what you guys are actually thinking. All right, with that said, while we're waiting for everybody to kind of tune in here, let's go ahead and get smash those likes, guys. There's about 27 of you here and only 11 likes. Come on, it's 8:30 in the morning. Let's get those likes going. Let's give a few more minutes here. We'll get going at 8:35. That way we'll have everyone kind of tuned in. We'll have everybody rolled in, and then we can get going here. All right. A few more minutes here. We got about 2 minutes to wait. A little bit less, about a minute and a half. And then we'll dive right in. G Money, let's get it. What's going on, man? Good morning. All right, let's smash those likes. We'll get going at 8:35. Got pretty good setups here in the pre-market. Should be an interesting day as long as the market cooperates. Safety room. Let's learn something. Hell yeah, let's go. All right, it's 8:34. We got about 1 more minute for everybody to jump in here, and then we're going to start, whether they're here or not. right, all right, all right. Perfect. Got about 30 seconds and we'll dive right in. Hopefully you guys are ready. Kadar, let's make some money. All right, all right, all right. 15 seconds. Let's make money. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. All right. Got about a few more seconds and then we'll dive right in 8:35 here. Perfect. So it's 8:35 a.m. We're going to get started here. Usually we start with the market sentiment, going over the SPY and the Qs. Then we'll dive into some of the free alerts. And then we'll talk about some questions that you guys may have. All right. So with that said, let's take a look at the SPY here on the daily. All right. What do we see here? We got obviously the move into the 200. Couldn't push through that. Lots of resistance up there. Came back down. But most importantly, we retested this vital old area of resistance, which is now, or which was support before this move up, and now we're kind of trying to hold that level again. All right, so this is going to be the key level here. This 390, 389. This is going to be a key vital level on the SPY here. All right, so we're going to have to focus on that. Yesterday we kind of held this level a little bit. 389, didn't really contest that, but we held the 390. We continue to show support at these levels, and this candle here is kind of interesting. So I would ideally like to see buyers continue to buy this up and push this back up into this area of 401. All right, that's ideal. You can see we've had resistance here again, right? So this 401.45 level, ideally I would like to see this move from here go up to this area here to 401.50. Now, obviously, if selling pressure does happen and we penetrate this 390, 385 and roll over, then the next area that we're looking at to find some support is going to be in this area here, right? And that's sitting pretty close to 372. So I don't want to see that. I want to see this kind of hold up, continue pushing into the 401. But you can see that these old areas of resistance have now become support and are continuously holding that. So that is that. Let's dive into the 15-minute time frame. Let's put our levels up here so you guys have a few levels to pay attention to. And there you go. And the game plan here is that we really need to get back above 395. Okay, 395.98, so technically 396. You can see after that sell-off the other day, we really just couldn't get back above this level. We continue to hit it. Bam, rejected. Bam, rejected, 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 right? So all this resistance area is proving to us that we have a solid level, of resistance. So ideally, if we can push back above this, break out, then we can look to retest areas of 398 and then possibly this 400 area, and then we kind of come back into that 401 level that I mentioned on the daily. All right, so that's the ideal situation that I would want to happen. But of course, like I said, if we lose this 391 area and 389.50, we could see go into that pocket right here. You can see from 389 down to the 385.80 and then 383. All right, so these are the levels that we kind of have to focus on here on the Qs. Okay, for those of you guys that are interested, you're more than welcome to take a screenshot of this. Goes all the way up to 408, comes all the way down to 381. All right, take a picture of this, save it for your own reference, and then you can kind of go off of these levels. All right, get the likes going. He works hard for us. Appreciate it, man. Syra, welcome. You're late. All right, so now with that said, let's dive back to the daily and let's go into the Qs. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Yeah, we can keep this. We'll keep this. All right, so very similar look, right? We had resistance. We came back, kind of tested it and, pushed over it here, but not as clean as the SPY, right? Now, the one thing that kind of has me a little concerned here in regards to the Qs, not so much concerned, but it's something to keep note of. we have this bearish candle, and then we have an inside day here on the Qs, right? So how do we usually play inside day, guys? So inside days are usually done with the break of the prior high or low. You take advantage of that, and then you can go to the upside. So ideally here, if we break the low, we continue to the downside. If we break the high, we should continue back to the upside, right? That's how you trade the inside day. So ideally, we have a decent scenario here. As long as we continue to push to the upside, we could try to get back into that 302.84, which coincidentally lines up with that 401 level we mentioned on the SPY. All right, again, this is very similar to what happened to the SPY. We hit an area of resistance, came back, kind of putting in a little bit of a double bottom, something I failed to mention on the SPY as well, but I'll get back to it. So here, a little bit of an inside day, which could fuel for a strong move, either to the upside if we break to the higher side of yesterday's move, and to the downside if we break yesterday's low, right? So let's dive into the 15-minute time frame here. Let's throw our levels on. All right, so there we go. So a few different levels to kind of focus on here in regards to the Qs. Obviously, we had this area of support that we kind of bounced at, failed to make a new high, just rolled over and broke down, right? Now this area is slowly starting to become an area of resistance that we're failing to get above. Ideally, I would want to see us get back above this, right? 297.60. We do that, we could see the 300 push and ideally the 303. But obviously, like I mentioned, if we lose that yesterday's low and we lose this support that we have here continuously being held at this 290.273 level, we could very easily roll to 290 and then 289, right? So a few things to make note of. This 297 area is going to be a vital area. We need to get above that. That's the same level as we have on the SPY, which is at 395.96. All right, so if we can get them both to kind of push up towards this direction, break above those resistance points, we'll be good. All right, upsides 297.60, downside you're looking at this 294.84. All right, so again, you're more than welcome to screenshot this and save this for your reference. All right, before I get into some of the free alerts, let's dive back into the SPY. Here's a little another possible thing that I could be hoping for here is we have this kind of double bottom pattern panning out here. If we do decide to push back up, it would be an interesting setup to see this double bottom kind of pan out here. We had a similar look right here. We had a push, a pull back, push up, and then pull back again, double bottom, breakout, and go. So if we can do the same thing here, retest the 200 moving average, that would be ideal. So yeah, that's in regards to that. Let me dive onto Twitter and get to the free alerts. Go to the 15-minute time frame, and we'll jump into QCOM. All right, so QCOM here, 128 is the level I'm looking at. All right, if you guys did see my Tesla trade yesterday, very similar look to where we have an area of resistance that we failed to get above. And for that, it looks like it's that 128 level on the Qs. So we keep rejecting that area. All right, so QCOM. So if we get above this 128, I'll be looking for a push into that 129, 129.90. And then over there, we can try to see how it reacts. But it does have that nice overnight gap from the day before that the market kind of plunged on CPI numbers. Okay. Now on the downside, if this decides to roll over, I really need this to break, the 125 level, 125.50. All right, and that's because it's yesterday's low. It is an inside day play, as you guys can see. If we go to the daily, you'll see what I'm talking about here. That's an inside candle. Previous candle is pretty bearish. We have an inside day play, and like I said, the inside day play is above prior day's high. You get that upside move, and below prior day's low, which happens to be at 125.50, you'll get that downside move. All right, so puts under 125.50, calls over 128. Next one is FSLR. All right, been a strong move, man. I'm pretty sure there's a 9 EMA here that continuously holds this. I don't have my 9 EMA on my charts, but if I go ahead and add it here, I can promise you that there's a 9 EMA that this stock is holding. Boom, there you go. Right there. Being respected, 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 respected. Now we're putting in a pin bar again, inside bar over this 9 EMA. And let's take a look at what levels we got on this one. So FSLR 136 is the level to kind of pay attention to here. If we can get above 136, I think we could see a nice push. Straight inside day play, at least back into that 138, 139 area ideally. If we roll over and break that low of 133.30, simple inside day play here, guys. There's nothing spectacular about this. We could see a fall to the 130. So that gives us about a $3 drop if it does happen. And that right there is about a 2% move, which should pay pretty good in the option underline. All right. Next one is Roblox. Actually, let me take my 9 EMA out. Perfect. Next one is Roblox. Let's take a look at Roblox. Bullish engulfing, hitting the 50-20 moving average, putting in a pretty nice daily candle here. Let's get into the 15-minute time frame. And the game plan on this one is if we get over 46, right? That's where I'd be interested on calls. We got to get over 46, then we can push into that 46.60 level. Otherwise, not really interested. Gonna have to wait. We could see, however, that we have pretty decent support right here. Bam right there at that 44.30 level. So if we lose 44.30, we open the area to try to come back and retest this support area at 43.20, 43. All right. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the downside. 44.30 to the downside. 46 would need to break in order for me to be interested on the upside. All right, now just to briefly touch base on how you guys can take these alerts. A lot of people ask me, when do you take it? How do you take it? Because I know there's rooms on the dailies and whatnot. Ideally, if the trigger comes right within the first 5-10 minutes, I take the trade as it comes. All right, so let's say the market opens and this price is hesitating right here and it comes up to here. I take the entry right here as it's about to break. I'm in right there. All right, I get involved right here within the first 5 minutes as it's breaking out. All right, because I want to take advantage of this fuel, the strong move to the upside as it continues going. Now, when the volume dies down and that momentum and that strength in the stock market is not really there anymore, and you're looking at price action that happens in the next 3 hours or hour or two, you need to have some sort of a consolidation under that resistance level, and then you can take the break and enter right there. All right, or your next chance would be, if you don't want to do that, you have to wait for a breakout, retest, and then on the retest, you can get involved right there and continue to move higher. Okay, so in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, I usually take the break as it happens, and obviously that sets you up for a little bit of a bigger risk. But that's how I trade. That's how I've been trading for years. For those of you guys that want to be a little bit more patient or more conservative with your trading, you could wait. But you could very easily miss the move. So just comes down to a risk or reward and how much your risk tolerance is. So with that said, I'm going to dive into the chat here and go over some of the questions that you guys may have. AMD call for the day. Bigger Pond, can't tell you enough, but appreciate what you do. I changed my name. It was previously Walk the Pond. Yo, Walk the Pond, you the man, brother. Every time I'm on stream, this guy comes up here and donates $5. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much. All right, Esma Bata, AMD call for the day. Perfect. So let's take a look at AMD. All right, putting in a little bit of a pin bar here right off of the support level. Calls for the day. I don't mind it. Let's go into the 15-minute time frame. I would say ideally I would want to see AMD over 78 in order to get calls. You can see we have resistance right there, right? Very similar look to what the entire market's doing here. Big sell-off, consolidation, failing to get above an area of resistance, which the SPY is doing the exact same thing. If we can get above 78, great. We could look to push into this 79.40 level. That's the only time I would pay attention to calls. Or you could try, let's see. You could try a reversal play in between price action, but I'm not a big fan of that. Ideally, I want to see a big area of resistance break broken, and then you can kind of take advantage of that big move up here, about a 1.6% move. All right, so 78, then you can kind of look to buy calls. Somebody also asked me about NVIDIA. Let me dive back into, I think it was the beginning of the chat. Check NVIDIA on the monthly. Let me know what you think. I don't really check monthly charts, but let's look at the daily or the weekly. Weekly's coming pretty close to that 200 moving average. This consolidation area on NVIDIA is huge. If you're looking at a monthly chart, you know, it's obviously something you're trying to hold long term. Monthly is not a chart you look at when you're trying to swing trade or day trade. But at this point, you know, it's coming into a big consolidation area for your long term positions. You could very easily start a position here with room to kind of add 2 or 3 more times if it does decide to yank back to this 70 number, which is another huge level on NVIDIA. Anyways, NVIDIA consolidation here between 120 and 140 is a solid area for you that was asking about this. All right, let's go. Next, smash that Nick Cassidy, smash that like, folks. Appreciate it. Foolish Snowboarder, good morning. AMD levels. Yeah, let's take a look at AMD. I gave the triggers on it earlier, so let's go back. The levels that you're kind of looking at are right here. If you want to take a screenshot of this, 78, 79, 30, and 80.5. Those are the upside levels. On the downside, obviously you have this level right here. That was a wick. That's going to act as a area of resistance. 75 whole number will probably be some support as well. And then you got 72.50 on the downside. All right, so those are some levels that you can work with there. NVIDIA monthly versus key zones you see. SPY and AKRO analysis. AKRO. Anyways, this name is garbage, trash. Shouldn't be trading this shit. 150. It's gone up 155% here. I wouldn't touch this. I prefer, or I suggest you guys don't either. If you guys don't love your money and you respect your money, stay away from this type of shit that moves drastically like this and then just kind of chops around and no one really wins except all the freaking market makers and institutions who bought in the pre-market. So stay away from there. Keep your money safe. SPY, we've already done the SPY analysis in the morning. I think we've gone through all that and what levels to look for in regards to the Qs in the SPY. Apple calls above 157.15 day trade. Let's take a look at Apple. 157.15. Yeah, I think your 157.15 is yesterday's high. We do have resistance at this 157.20, 157.40 level. I mean, see where that's coming from. Yeah, so I would technically, you would have to kind of wait for this 157.10 to break. We do have some resistance here at 157.20, 157.40. Ideally above that, then you got room to kind of push to the 158. So see how it acts. Price action is really far down from where you want to just take calls blindly, because we're sitting at 154.50. If this pushes all the way up to 157, you're getting about a $2 pop. And the chances of this breaking out, continuing to move higher, is going to be very unlikely. So you want to wait for some sort of consolidation to take place here, and then you can kind of take the breakout right there and then go higher. So see how price action reacts at that resistance level and then make a decision. Don't just buy blindly as the price comes up to it here. Don't just buy calls here blindly expecting it to go higher, for the chances of that is very unlikely, and it could really roll back over. You're going to get stopped out on this candle, and then it's going to make the next leg up. All right, so don't chase it. Wait for consolidation right under that resistance before you take a trade at that level. Coin 80 calls this week. So coin 80 calls this week. 80 calls this week. So this week meaning expiry is tomorrow. So coin is in this little area here in regards to a gap, right? We got this candle right here and then that candle right there. So 78 to 80.60. It's inside a little gap here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. So there we go. If we can get this back above 80.60, you could try to push it to 83.20. That's kind of the level that I pay attention to. Looks like that gap here from these two nights were filled just here in the after hours, so you can't really take advantage of that anymore. But over the 80.60, you can very easily try to get that overnight drop that we had the other day into that 83.28 level. That's what I would pay attention to. You check Lucid, looking to possibly day trade calls. Let's take a look at Lucid. So Lucid, I believe, I saw the daily on this. Looks pretty interesting. The only thing is I'm not really liking these wicks. However, with that said, if you can get this back above 16.90-17 area, it could be a nice trade. Something's going on at the 17 level where people are dumping. So if you take the 16.90 level, you risk running into that 17 again and getting smacked, that 17 whole number. Ideally, you could wait for the 17 whole number to break, and then you can push 17.30, 17.75. Might not look like much, but that right there, that 30-cent move on a $17 stock is a 1.5% move on the underlying. That could pay pretty good when it comes to options. So you could wait for 17 breaks, pushed at the 17.30. How do you feel about crypto? You're a trader only, or do you hold some stocks for crypto for the long term? On topic, what time frame do you use for your entries? I don't really day trade crypto. I've started a position on Bitcoin at 19.5. I've been saying Bitcoin's going to crash to 19.5 for about a year now, and everybody laughed at me when I did say that. But finally, we did get it down to 19.5, and I started my first position on it then. Otherwise, I don't day trade crypto names and anything like that. Just starting a long-term position on it. Guys, if you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. Need to get those likes up a little bit higher. PayPal puts news came out of more regulations for buy now, pay later. PayPal. PayPal daily chart actually looks a little bit interesting. You had that falling wedge pushing reverse hammer off the 20 moving average, and now a hammer yesterday. Ideally, I actually want to see this continue to push. If we can get it back above 98, I look for that push to that 99.20 level. For this to break down and roll over, you really got to get back under 94.50. Then you can kind of take advantage of another pullback down to the 91s. But right now, it's in a no trade zone. You got to get above at least 98 for this to push higher, or 94.50 for it to pull a little bit lower. Uber for day trade. All right, Uber 33.40 is that level you want to pay attention to. Over that, you get the push to 34.40. This is a good setup that I like. You can pay attention to this one. QS or Qs, I'm not really sure what you mean. Ale, and next time, let me know if you want to day trade calls or puts, so I know what you're thinking. What's your main time zones for finding day trade zones? I use the daily mainly, and I focus on the daily levels to find my supports, resistance, pockets, gaps, and candle combos. I always use the daily the night before when I'm scanning for stocks, and then the morning of I come in and I check pre-market to see what's going on and if those levels are still valid. Who's calling ABNB swing? ABNB swing is looking interesting. Yeah, we'll see who puts that up. Harry George, good morning, my guy. What's going on, my man? Perfect. All right, so I think I went through all the questions here. Remember, every Thursday I do go live right here on YouTube, guys. The last few weeks was a little bit crazy with the investors meet and whatnot, but we're back full time here, and we'll be doing this every Thursday again. It's pretty fun, interesting going through this and seeing how the market kind of reacts afterwards and kind of recapping everything. If I did miss any of the questions that you guys had, don't worry. Go ahead and shoot me a message on Twitter or Discord. I'll be there to answer you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in here. I got to get back to the room and start preparing for the day trade of today, and then we'll get going here. All right, thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, if I missed your question, let me know on Twitter or Discord, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. I answer all my DMs every single day. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week right here on YouTube. Have a good one.